Parishasvajate Tayoranyah Pipalam Svadatte Anashnan Anyah Avichakashite Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. Dvau Suparno Sayujau Sakhayo. Grammatically, this is a dual of the nominative. So, the dual should be Dvau Suparno Ramah Ramau. So, Dvau Suparno Sayujau Sakhayo. Here we have what? Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. So again, this is Chandasa Prayoga, meaning this is irregular as far as the Panini grammar is concerned. So what we should understand is Dvau Sayujau Suparnau Sayujau Sakhayo. Dvau two Suparnau birds Sayujau that are ever associated with each other. Sakhayo and have similar names. Sakha means friends. So Sakha is so samana khyati yesham. Those who have the same kind of expression, manifestation, always uttered together. Krishna Arjuna Samvade. So Krishna and Arjuna are always, uttered together. So there are these two birds which are Suparna means having beautiful feathers. Sayujau, always joined with each other, always associated with each other, yukta, associated with each other, meaning that those who are never separate from each other. Sakhayu, who are friends. Or Sakha means samana khyati, those who have similar names, or those who are like friends. Two birds having beautiful feathers, who are always together, never separated from each other, and who are always together, and then they are all referred to as together. Samanam vriksham parishasvajate. Parishasvajate, cling to. Meaning that they are living, dwelling, and holding on to. Samanam vriksham, the same self tree. So this is a very famous imagery describing the two birds of the nature of Jiva and Ishvara. This is one of those mantras which is often presented as an evidence that the Upanishad is teaching duality. Look, right here Upanishad itself says there are two birds. One bird is a Jiva bird, other bird is the Ishvara bird. And therefore the duality of Jiva and Ishvara are talked right here. Now this mantra is often mentioned in support of the conclusion that the Upanishad is teaching duality, where Jiva and Ishvara are different. If you remember, we did the other mantra also. Yatha sudiptat pavakat visvalingaha. Just as from a fully ablaze fire, countless sparks emerge, so that mantra is often quoted as Ishvara is the cause and Jivas are the effect. Ishvara is one, Jivas are many. Ishvara is whole, Jivas are part. So, like this sparks and fire. The relationship is the part and whole. That is called Vishishtad Advaita. This is where Jiva and Ishvara are looked upon as totally different from each other, is Dvaitam. Where Jiva is looked upon as part of Ishvara, is Advaitam all right, but still qualified non-duality, meaning that they are one and still separate. It's called Vishishta Advaitam. And the Jiva and Ishvara identical, with no difference whatever, is the Advaitam or non-duality. So we say mantras are interpreted by different acharyas to arrive at different conclusions. But Swamiji, how come this happens? They ask this question, the texts are the same. How is it that these great acharyas have drawn different conclusions, that one acharya is teaching like Shankaracharya is Advaitam, Kevala Advaitam, absolute non-duality. Ramanujacharya teaches the qualified Advaitam, part and whole. And Madhvacharya and others teach Dvaitam, that they are totally different from each other. So, this mantra at the first sight seemed to say that the Jiva and Ishvara are different, two different words. The earlier mantra of the fire and spark also at the first sight seemed to say that just as sparks are part of fire, Jivas are part of Ishvara. And still Bhashyakara showed how this mantra, in fact, the fire and spark mantra also only teaches a non-duality, that the sparks appear different from fire, the sparks appear different from each other, but really the difference is not in the fire, the difference in upasi, little particle of wood that creates a notion of separation, but there is no separation whatever in fire. So also all the jivas appear to be separate from each other. But when you analyze what is the essential nature of what you call jiva, it is nothing but consciousness, and consciousness is one, undivided. So here also the jiva and Ishvara appear to be different as though. Then why do they say like that, Swamiji? If what the Upanishad wants to convey is non-duality, why is the description given as though there is duality? That is because that is what we think it is. Since we think that I, the Jiva, is different from Ishvara. And why am I different? Because who am I? I am just a little insignificant creature with limited knowledge, limited power, everything limited. And who is Ishvara? Omniscient, omnipotent, and they are boundless in every way. How can this to be same? And that's how this is complex and always been entertaining. That I am different from Ishvara, I am different from you, I am different from everything. And it is that notion that's what the Upanishad is working on, trying to explain to us the reason why that notion is created in us. There is a reason. Like an actor putting on the costume of a beggar, and then before coming to stage looking at himself in the mirror to see how he is dressed, and he sees a beggar in the mirror, concludes that I am a beggar. The reason for conclusion, that's what appears in the mirror. Who am I? A beggar. And so then he has to be taught that this is the notion. And so looking at the mirror of the upadi, this body, mind, sense complex is my upadi, is my costume. And look at the mirror in the mind, and what do I find? I find this limited individual. Just as the actor finds a beggar in there, therefore I conclude that I am a small, little, insignificant creature. There is something small, something insignificant. What is it? This body, mind, sense complex is small, is insignificant. And regardless of how great I try to make, it will remain insignificant. And therefore trying to make this body great, my mind great, intellect great, ego great, This poor human being never becomes free from the sense of insignificance anyway. That is because I am all the time evaluating myself based on my costume. So based on the costume, looks like that there are two birds. One is a Jiva bird, other is the Ishvara bird. When looked upon from this kind of costume. But then, the way the description is, Dvau Suparnau Sayujau Sakhayau, two birds always together, having the same manifestation, same description, they are always friends, always together. Now, is it possible that two entities can always be together? Is it possible that two separate entities can always be together? If there are two, then this fellow wants to eat, the other fellow may not want to eat, this fellow wants to go forward, other fellow wants to go backward. Sometimes this can happen, is it not so? If there are really two, it's not possible that they have a total synchronism all the time, otherwise there is no two. But they are two and still always synchronized. See, always synchronized is real or two is real? So other teachers say that the two is real, Vedantin says the synchronism is real. Sayujau, Sakhayau, always associated with each other, connected to each other, always friends, having the same khyati or expression. That shows that in fact there is one appearing as two. So from this description, Vedantin comes to this conclusion that even though outwardly it is said two, it wants to explain our conclusion in our life, where I am always searching for some goal in my life. The search for the goal is not different from the 10th man searching for the 10th man. Because if I analyze, I never stop to think and analyze, but I stop to think and analyze what is it that I am seeking in my life. What do I want? Ultimately I will realize that what I want is myself. And thus the duality is not a reality. Duality is a notion created because of my conclusion that I am a limited being. I am separate from others. But Swami, I am separate from others. What do you mean you are not separate from us? I am separate from you. Depends on who you call I. The body is called I, certainly they are separate. The mind is called I, certainly you are separate. Depends on who you call I. If you call yourself as I, consciousness as I, then consciousness is no boundary at all. In that case, there is no separation, there is no two-ness, there is no duality. So our notion that I am different from you and I am different from Ishvara, that notion is called anuvada, is reiterated here. So you should, as though there are two birds. So when as though we should add. Why is it so? Because we have concluded that there are two. That Jiva is different, Ishvara is different, you are different, I am different. That is my conclusion. So begin from that conclusion to help us arrive at where we should go or where we should reach. Samanam vruksham parishasvajate. They cling to the same tree, this body. Or the upadhi is called the tree here. And this Jiva and Ishvara, both of them are dwelling on this tree of this body, mind, sense, complex upadhi. Swamiji, even there are two? In the heart there are two? Says, Jiva bird and Ishvara bird. You mean there are Jiva and Ishvara, both of them are separate entities who are dwelling in this body? No, in fact what is dwelling is one, but thought to be two. In Kathopanishad also, Rutam pibanto sukrutasya loke guham praveshtau parame parardhe. Some similar description comes as though in one guha, in one cave, two entities are dwelling. One is both of them enjoying karma phala. One is karma phala data, other is karma phala bhokta. The Jiva and Ishvara, both of them are dwelling together. Two entities cannot dwell together in one, and therefore it is what is one which is thought to be two. So this is how sometimes when the Upanishad says two, that two is nothing but what Anuvada is just reiterating what I am saying to help me understand that, hey, what you think two is really one. So this is a very typical mantra. Dvau suparnau sayujau sakhayau samana vruksham parishashva jate. You are clinging to the same tree of this body, mind, sense complex. All right. Now further describing these two words. Tayoho anyaha. One of these two. Piplam svaduvatti. One of these birds, atti, eats or enjoys. Pippalam means phalam. Various kinds of fruits. One of the birds enjoys various kinds of fruits. Apparently, this tree has many branches. Adaschordam prasutastasya shakhaha gunapravruddha vishayapravalaha adasya mulani anusantatani karmanabandhini manushaloke. Sounds familiar? Does it sound familiar? No. Urdhumulam adashakam ashwatham prahu avyayam. Kathopanishad. The 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which we are supposedly reciting every day before the meals. The very first verse, Urdhvamulam, this tree of samsara with the roots above, Adashakam, where is the branch spreading below. Have you ever seen a tree with roots above, branches below? No, not in a physical sense. We already mentioned this once before. Above does not mean above with reference to space, above in terms of the reality. Typically in India, when you go to a government office, when you want, he says go above. Government is go to higher authority. That above may be sitting below, meaning that even the higher authority, the office could be below. And so it's called above. The typical word that the government people use, go above, means go to higher authority. Above does not mean in terms of space, it means in terms of authority. Here also, Urdhumulam, this tree of samsara that we experience, has its root above. Above means not in terms of space, in terms of reality. Then the samsara that we see is constantly changing. Everything in the world is constantly changing, and so it is perishable. So it has an origin, it will have an end someday. Everything is constantly changing. Everything is limited. What is the truth of the samsara that is changing and that is limited? Urdhvam. So limitlessness is the truth of the samsara that is limited. The changelessness is the truth of samsara that is constantly changing. It's unbelievable. Nobody ever thinks so, and therefore many people are also thrown off. Because those who believe that the cause must be compatible, so infer the cause compatible effect, they can never infer that the cause of the limited can be limitless. Limitless can be the cause of limited. Nobody can ever imagine. Meaning that if you want to arrive at the reality of the world with your own intellect, it is very confusing, misguiding. So Upanishad says that of this limited universe, the truth is limitless, urdhvam. So that is a vriksha. Not only the body also, but then the samsara also is a vriksha. Urdhvamulam, adashakam, ashwatham. The tree is called ashwatha. Ashwatha is a particular tree, called people tree. But shvaha means tomorrow. Shvatham is that which will be there tomorrow. Ashwatham, of which the existence tomorrow also is uncertain. Ashwatha means that of which existence tomorrow is uncertain. That which is changing, perishable. Meaning that this tree of samsara is constantly changing, it is perishable. And many things go with the tree. So samana vruksham parishashvajate. These two birds, Jiva and Ishvara. Is for other interpretation also is there in Brahma Sutra. It is Brahman and Buddhi and stuff like that. So whatever. But this is simple explanation. Jiva and Ishvara. Brahma Sutra is its own agenda, and so has to follow certain other kind of what shall I say, reasoning pattern, etc. Tayo anya pipalam swadvati. One of them, the jiva, is flying from one branch to the other, experiencing different kinds of fruits. So what are these branches? Adaschordam prasutas tasya shakhaha guna pravriddha vishaya pravalaha. You repeat the verses, but we don't, I think, we don't remember what we are repeating. This vriksha, urdhvamulam, adashakam, the tree of samsara, of which the root is above, the branches are spread below. In that branches, adaschodham, prasutaha, tasya shakha, these branches also go up and down and middle. These branches are nothing but the various embodiments. Some embodiments are higher, some embodiments are middling, some other embodiments are below. So being a human being, there are embodiments such as devatas who are higher. There are embodiments like the birds and animals who are lower. Human beings are in the middle. Adaschordham cha prasutas tasya shakhaha guna pravuddaha vishaya pravalaha, etc. So this is the tree that these two birds, Jiva and Ishvara, they are clinging to this tree. Of them, the bird that is Jiva is Pipalam Svadvati. It enjoys or experiences, I shouldn't say enjoy, but then experiences various kinds of the fruits of different tastes. It is not that fruit always is sweet. The fruit can be sour also. Fruit can be bitter also, is it not so? Depends on your karma. So you think this is a sweet fruit, and turns out when you are somewhere traveling in the Himalayas, and we don't know the various vegetation. Sometimes the fruits look good. You are very tempted. When you taste, it's bitter, sometimes sour, sometimes sweet, depends upon your luck. And so also this bird called Jiva, that is you and I, he is experiencing fruits. What is fruit? The karma phala. Fruit is the fruit of the action. Each one is experiencing different kinds of fruits because each one has performed different kinds of actions. Each one has its own unique history. So whatever we are experiencing at any moment is the karma phala, a result of some action or the other that we have performed. And why do we take different embodiments? Because in this embodiment, if my desires are not satisfied, then to satisfy the remaining desire, I take other embodiment. Because the experiences that human upadhi can give are limited. You can't experience what a bird is experiencing. You cannot experience what a fish is experiencing. You cannot experience what a dog is experiencing. Not that, but sometimes that also looks very dear depending on the state of your mind. Or in Atma Puranam, Swami Shankaranji says that when the jiva departs from this body, when he says then, he has a glimpse of what the next embodiment is going to be. So right now I am in human upadhi. If my karma determines that my next upadhi will be a dog, let us say, hopefully it's not so, but then, who will want to take up that upadhi? But he says, no, when this jiva atma is ready to depart from this aperture of the heart, at that time he has a glimpse of what the next upadhi will be, and then right away there is also a love for the upadhi. So when he departs, he loves that what dog, bear, whatever it is, hog, frog, whatever it is that he is going to be, his love for the upadhi is developed, and there he goes happily. Right now, if somebody says, Swamiji, next upadhi is going to be dog, I would hate it, but not when I am departing. Then that is a love for whatever that embodiment is going to be, and therefore happily I take that embodiment. Anyway, that's immaterial. But this is how from one branch to the other. Here branch is one upadhi, one embodiment is branch. And there are how many embodiments, how many species are there? They talk of 8.4 million species, 8.4 million birds. You heard 84 lakhs. There is nothing. Now when we discover so many kinds of different kinds of insects, we find that there are countless. How many kinds of flies may be there, how many kinds of crabs may be there. There are countless kinds of different embodiments. They may have counted at one point, arrived at 8.4 million, which is also a large number, but whatever it is, a large number, large choice is there. When you depart from this body, Ishvara has a big showroom with variety of costumes. When you go to a big showroom with different costumes, then you like to buy something. What can you buy? It depends upon how much money you have in your pocket. Similarly, Ishvara's showroom, there are millions of dress costumes are there. Which one can I buy? Depending upon what kind of money I have in my pocket. What's that money? That is karma, punya karma. And therefore I have to contend with whatever I get with my punya karma. And that's how different kinds of embodiments are there. In every embodiment there is the experience is different. Pippalam svadvati, one of the birds goes from one branch to the other. Every branch represents an embodiment. So countless branches are there, countless embodiments are there, and depending on the karma that is performed. But Swamiji, suppose this Jivatma has become a dog, then what about the next embodiment? Because dog doesn't perform any deliberate actions. Meaning that only human being earns karma phala, punya papa, no other embodiment there is a deliberate action. Therefore, even though a cat may kill a mouse, it is not papa karma. Otherwise, fellows will never come out of it. No papa karma. It is just instinctive. If human being, I kill even an ant, it's papa karma. Because I have freedom not to do that. So, but Swami, therefore, other creatures don't perform deliberate karma. So how will they go from one embodiment to the other? Dog does not perform deliberate karma. So when the dog dies, where will he go? Who will decide? What will decide his next embodiment? Answer is that when you depart from here, this is not very relevant here because Pipalam Svadvati, this Jivatma experiences the fruits of variety of states in variety of embodiments. So what decides the course of his birth, series of birth and death? The karma, which karma? When this jiva departs from here, the whole sequence of his travel is decided until he comes back. So karma, most powerful karma will immediately determine what this fellow experiences. The next powerful karma, then next powerful karma, then next powerful karma. Ultimately he'll come back to human birth. He will. And then again he'll start this cycle because he has to be given a chance of moksha. And moksha is possible only in the human birth. So after experiencing all sorts of things, come back to human birth. Tayo anyaha pipalam svadvati. One of the birds, the jiva bird, performs variety of actions, creates for himself variety of results or karma phalas, and each phala is of a different taste. So this is the phala, that is the phala, every embodiment is a phala, and that's what he experiences. So this is the story of Jivatma. One bird. When all this is happening, what does the next bird do? Anasnan anyaha abhichakashiti. The other one, abhichakashiti, just looks on. Anasnan, without eating. While this bird is fluttering from branch to branch, experiencing variety of fruits of variety of tastes, sometimes happy, sometimes unhappy, more unhappy than happy, unfortunately. And the Puja Swami used to say, have you heard him? Dukkham, 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 sukham. Dukkham, 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 sukham. Have you heard him? It's in olden days. I have not recently heard, but anyway, dukkham, 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 sukham. What does it mean? Pain, 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 pleasure. Pain, 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 pleasure. But that little pleasure that will come sometime motivates him to go through whatever experiences come, and that's why he goes through all this pain, hoping that some pleasure will come. So this is the story of Jivatma. Ashnan, he is a bhokta. Ashnan means he is eating, means enjoying, experiencing. Phalam means karma phala. He is experiencing, so he performs karma. He earns for himself karma phala, the result of the actions, and he experiences variety of results of action. Anyaha, the other bird, anasnan, without eating, abhichakasiti, just looks on. Other bird just looks on. Doesn't do anything. Hey, come on, don't do this. These birds should be better than just looking on, This is not fair. Other bird is Param Brahma, Paramatma. Looks on. It's not fair. Hey, come on, don't do this. Do that. Should he not say that? You know the 10th man story? Where one who is searching for is also 10th man. So where is 10th man? Right here. Is it not so? He sees this fellow searching for 10th man. Why doesn't he say, hey, I am 10th man here. Why are you searching there? Doesn't say that. You know what I'm saying? The 10th man is sitting right in the heart. It is very self. And still, does not declare, hey, you are searching for time, but I am here, look at me. So also this poor Jivatma is always searching for happiness. Atma says, hey, come on, I am here. Unfair, is it not so? Even though it's close at hand, closer than closest. Durat sudure tadihantikecha. For an ignorant person, 10th man is farther than farthest. For the one who comes to know, he is closer than the closest. Ignorance creates a vast distance as though, and knowledge eliminates that false distance. But this Ishvara or bird or Brahma bird doesn't say anything. Abhichakasiti just looks on. Ishvara looks on. Paramatma looks on. Is it fair? When you find this fellow is doing wrong thing, should he not say, come on, stop doing it? Doesn't say that. He permits. Upadashtanamanta cha bharta bhokta maheshvara paramatma ityapyukta desmin purushah paraha. Verse from Bhagavad Gita. Anybody heard? Anybody knows where it comes from? 13th chapter. Very much. Very good. Upadrashta. Upadrashta means the one who is proximate seer, who is seeing everything proximately. Anumantacha, but permits everything. This fellow goes in wrong direction, permits him. Does wrong action, permits him. Right action, permits him. Bharta bhokta. So therefore, this Paramatma is sitting here, watching everything, blessing everything. Because without him, the consciousness, nothing can be done. So meaning that whatever the jiva is able to do is because of the presence of consciousness, naturally. Shrotrasa Shrotram, it's only because of his presence that the faculty of hearing, they function. He is able to see, hear, do whatever he is able to do is because of the presence of the self, consciousness, Paramatma. Anumanta. But he just gives permission to whatever he wants to see. Why doesn't he say, come on, you're seeing it, looking at the wrong thing, look this way? No. You see what I'm saying? Ishvara is closer than closest. And still, he doesn't say anything. Abhichakashiti. He just looks on. Looks on means not even looks on. Not that he has eyes and he keeps on and looks on. He'll get tired. No, he looks on, just he is. The conscious presence. Looks on means what? He keeps blessing. It is in the presence of him, that is the Paramatma, the consciousness, that this jiva does whatever he does, good, bad or indifferent. Anasnananyaha abhichakashiti. The story of our life. Samane vrikshe purusho nimagnaha. Next verse says, Samane vrikshe purusho nimagnaha anishaya shochati muhyamanaha. Samane vrikshe. The same tree, same body, same heart. Both of them are dwelling, meaning that jiva is dwelling where the Paramatma is dwelling. You are in company. Which company? You are in great company. Whose company? Of Bhagavan, of Paramatma. Sayuja, Sakhaya, never separate. Always uttered together, because whenever I say I am a jiva, that I am also is there, and jiva also is there. I am a human being, I am also there. Human being is also there, so both are uttered together. I am is that, and human being is this jiva. Meaning that jiva cannot exist without Paramatma. So I am happy. Happy is the nature, comes from jivatma. I am happy. I am is that one who is always happy. He imparts I am to everything. Happy, unhappy, good, bad, sage, sinner. He blesses, he sustains, supports. So it's I am. Who is that I am? Other bird. Sukhi, dukhi, happy, unhappy, good, bad. Who is it? This bird. Jiva. Always together, never separate, because the Jiva can never be without the Ishvara. The happy, unhappy, etc. cannot be without, is blessed by I am, the consciousness and existence. And that I am accompanies, always watching, and this fellow then becomes happy, unhappy, karta, bhokta, sukhi, dukhi. Aham karta, aham bhokta, aham sukhi. That aham asmi is always there. The bird is all, because they are always together, never separated. Apichakashiti, always watches, always blesses. In that sense, the Sukhi also is blessed by I am. Dukhi also is blessed by I am. If I am does not blessed, if that I am does not impart existence and awareness, then the Sukhi, Dukhi, nothing can exist. And so, Anashnan, but then I am does not participate. Sukhi, Dukhi, this Jivatma keeps on doing variety of things that I am without participating blesses him, enables him to do whatever he wants, but does not participate, does not help him, does not correct him, does not guide him. He always blesses him. Always together. Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. I am is one, Sukhi is another one. What is Sukhi? One bird, Jivatma. I am Paramatma. Always together. Can never be separate because Jiva cannot exist without Paramatma. But this fellow is so busy looking here and there that he fails to appreciate the way I am the closer than the closest, the most proximate that I am is ignored. And he's out there, Abhicha, Swaduat, all kinds of fruits and all kinds of things he experiences. And not satisfied with what is available in this embodiment, goes to next embodiment. Not satisfied there, goes to the third embodiment. Samane vrukshe purusho nimagnaha. Even though he is residing with Ishvara, with Brahman, with Paramatma, Purushaha Nimagnaha Anishaya Shoshati Mukhyamana. This Purushaha, this Jivatma feels always helpless. Anishaya. Shoshati always grieves. Mukhyamana, experiencing variety of notions about himself. So who I am, the notion keeps changing. Sometimes identify with the body, I said I'm a woman or a man. Identify with my intellect as I'm a doctor or an engineer. Identify with something else. I keep on, declaring different names, different identifications. Samane vrukshe purusho nimagnaha anishaya shochati, always feels helpless. So one thing about this poor jiva is, in the life, helplessness. Why helplessness, Swami? Because I have desire. It is desire that makes me helpless. There is no desire, there is no helplessness. When I have desire, then I want something. I want something all right, but then I do not have the freedom to fulfill my desire. It is someone else whose favor I need to fulfill my desire. Is it not so? Please look at me. No, that's up to you whether to look at me or not. Please give me a smile. You will decide whether to give me a smile or not. Swamiji, you're not looking at me. Have you heard this complaint? This Swamiji, I don't know whether you heard or not. All Swamis hear that. Puja Swamiji said, but when I'm looking at you, looking down, what can I do, There's old stuff going on, nothing new. But what I want doesn't happen. What I'm saying is helpless. So when I have a desire, then I become helpless because I become dependent upon someone who has to fulfill my desire. Anisha shows the Anisha. Anisha means what? He is helpless. So helplessness is one of the constant tune, shruti going on in the life of the human being. Muhyamanaha, entertaining variety of notions about himself. Now karta, then bhokta, now man, then woman, now father, then mother, and so forth. In each of these notions, one thing is, one current, and that is limitedness, helplessness. So this is the story of one of the birds. The other bird is the very goal that I am seeking. Justam yada pashyatanyamisham asya mahimanati. Then when he sees his true glory, when he recognizes that my true nature is what? Asti bhati priyam. Not karta, not bhokta. Then I am all right, karta I am okay, bhokta all right, sukhi all right. But that is what? That is just temporary. That is not my essential nature. There is something that is incidental. Who am I essentially? I am. That's essentially what I am. On that, this man, woman, karta, bhokta, they come and go, they go incidental, Just as in this part, there is something essential and something incidental. What is essential? Clay, wow. What is incidental? Form and name is incidental. Because if this thing falls from my hand, it will break into pieces. Its name and form will change, but the fact that it is clay will not change. Take a hammer and powder it. Still the fact that it is clay does not change. The name and form keep on changing. So what should I identify with? If I choose to identify the name and form, then I'm helpless because I depended upon others to maintain the name and form. Identify with the clay, I'm indestructible. Name and form, I'm perishable, destructible, dependent, helpless. So here also, what is it that I should identify with? One word, mukhyati. So, because I'm identified with this upadhi, and they always feel a sense of helplessness. And that identification also keeps on changing. Now I identify with the body and thinking one way for myself, with the mind thinking different way, intellect thinking third way, and mind keeps on changing, everything keeps on changing, body also changes, depends upon where I identify with. Our Swami used to say that every part of the body creates a complex. From here on, from top to the toe, complex. Whether I have hair or not. If I have, then what's the color of the hair? If I have, then what is the density of the hair? So many complexes. Then come here, eyebrows, another source of complex. Nose, third source of complex. Every part of the body is a potential source of complex, and they have a potential source of unhappiness. This one body creates so much problem. The stomach also is a problem. Height also is a problem. Weight also is a problem. Width also is a problem. Depth also is, etc., etc. Muhyamana, entertaining variety of complexes about oneself, because he has fallen into identification with this insignificant upadhi. Therefore, this Paramatma, who is significant, who is limitless, always suffers from a sense of limitation because of identification with his upadhi. Like that actor who may be a billionaire, but then suffers because he is identified with upadhi, which is a beggar. No reason for him to be unhappy, but this. So no reason for human being to be unhappy at all. and were always unhappy because identified with this insignificant upadhi. Anishaya shochati mukhyamanaha, entertaining variety of notions about himself, complexes about himself. Every complex is a source of sorrow, potential sorrow. Justam yada pashyati, but then he sees the other one. So far he was neglecting him, he was always out there in the world, never looking at what is in the proximity, what is most proximate. 10th man always looking out there. Then yada pashyati anyamisham, he realizes that the Ishvara, the one that is closest to me, very much. How close? My own nature. Asya mahimanamiti vishoka vitashoka. And thus when he recognizes his own glory, his own dimension, his own limitlessness, his own fullness and completeness, vitashoka becomes free from all shoka, all the grief. So both the things are described, the ignorance as well as the knowledge, right in the beginning of this section here. We'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari